I'm Rebecca of Pocketful of Poseys. Today's video is part of the World War II Sewing Challenge, and unfortunately it is a day late but for the end of the challenge. But I did my best, and this challenge is hosted by So Biased, the Vintage Guidebook, and Thistle and Stitches. I will link all of their information down below. So part of this challenge was to use World War II rationing guides to create a garment. I have been in the process of making and drafting and fitting some 1940s pants, some wide leg trousers. However, they don't really fit the rationing guide, but I did want to make a blouse to go with the trousers. And I tried to follow the guide as best I could. Now, here are some of the rules, and I have them written down because I can't remember them all. For the challenge in general, make a garment that meets the rationing rules of World War II. Any era, any style, and skill level welcome. And then post your finished project by May 8th, VE Day, and we'll share it. Unfortunately, I am a day late with this video. And so the materials can be cotton, rayon, wool, no silk or nylon, no leather, no metal, no zipper, like metal zippers, buttons, buckles, etc. No lace, embroidery, bows, braids, ruffles, non-functioning buttons, no elastic, no more than 4 meters of stitching total. So for a blouse, now I figured a blouse would probably be the best thing I could make for this challenge, because since I am very plus sized, I need a lot of material. And of course, it's not like we have to like follow every rule absolutely perfectly. And of course it says to, in the rules, it says to adjust things as needed to fit you. But I decided to go with a blouse anyway. So blouses, no more than 1 pocket. I didn't even do a pocket. No more than 7 buttons in long sleeve, 5 buttons on short sleeve. No more than 1 button per cuff. No epaulets, epaulets, oh, I don't know how to say the word, or capes. Max sleeve width is 14 inches. Length from neck to hem 22 inches. Prohibited styles, dolman, balloon, and leg of mutton sleeves. This is assuming a UK size 12. Adjust as needed in the rules. That's what it says. So now, mine is not totally perfect. My sleeve width is, I don't think it's wider than 14 inches, but it might be pushing it a little, because I did have to make the sleeves wider to fit me. But I am excited to take part in this challenge, and I'm excited to share my process of making this blouse with you. So without further ado, let's get to it. Here we go. All right, I have my pattern pieces cut out for this blouse, and it says it's for a 36-inch bust, so theoretically I need like 19 inches bigger than that for my bust. But when I measured the pattern pieces, the waist measurement, just counting, you know, measuring across the front piece, doubling it, the back piece doubling it, adding that together, it came out at 51 inches. That's including the seam allowance, but I mean, that still seems like a big difference from saying it's for a 36-inch bust to, where did it go? So the bust measurement is 53 inches total, including seam allowance. Just the pattern pieces. I am a little confused. So I think what I'm going to do is, before, I mean, I'm definitely going to add to it, but I don't know that I want it to be that voluminous on me. I feel like there's like 10 inches of ease built into this, which maybe there is. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just make it up in this size and see what that is like. and then go from there as far as grading it up to fit me. My mock-up in the original size gave me a good idea of where to make changes to the pattern to fit me. Lucius agreed. I needed to make the back yoke wider and longer. I added 1.5 inches to the center back of the back yoke, and then I added 2.5 inches to the shoulder length, and I used my curved ruler to extend the neckline curve as well as the shoulder curve. I taped another piece of paper to true up the shoulder curve, but neglected to film that. My next step was adding 1 inch to the center front, and I made sure it lined up with the front yoke. I then added 1.5 inches to the center back of the blouse, making sure it matched up with the back yoke. Next, I added 2 inches to the side back seam line. I also added 1.5 inches to the side front seam line. For the sleeves, I widened the top of the sleeve and added width around the sleeve using my curved ruler to keep the shape correct. I also chose to make the sleeve pattern to be cut out on a fold. Doing this helped me keep the pattern even on both sides of the sleeve. You can see I'm just using scraps of paper to make the sleeve pattern larger. Hercules assisted as I cut my blouse fabric out. I'm using a peach-colored printed cotton, and it's printed with little blue flowers. My first sewing step was to sew gathering stitches at the top of each front piece and on the back piece where the yokes attach. I pinned the back yokes to the back of the blouse, matching notches. I marked my notches with a friction pin and cut some of them out. I don't know. I pulled the gathering threads to fit the yoke and pinned. I repeated the pinning and gathering process on the front pieces and yokes as well. After sewing the fronts and backs to the yokes, I pinned the side seams and the shoulder seams. to the machine to sew the side seams and shoulder seams. The shirt is coming together well, and I don't think I need to add any more seam allowance or anything. I was a little worried that it was going to be too small because I feel like I wasn't scientific enough with my calculations. But the side seams are together, it's all together. The only thing I'm a little concerned about is the neck now seems a little large, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. I mean, it has a collar, but it's not like a close fitting neck or anything. So I need to figure out, I mean, I shouldn't need to do anything extra to the collar. I added width at the center back like I did in the back, and I think that's, I may have to cut out another collar piece because I didn't add any at the center front, but I'll have to check the pattern and see. But off we go. The front facings were next. I got them pinned on and sewn. After sewing, I clipped the corners and turned the facings to the inside. Before starting on the collar, I checked to make sure I had done the neckline correctly. I did end up cutting out a new collar since I had forgotten to add width to the front of the collar when I was grading it up. I pinned and sewed my collar pieces together at the top edge, trimmed the seam allowance, and turned it right side out. A quick ironing and it was time to attach the collar to the blouse. After sewing, the inside collar is turned in and whip stitched to the neckline. Okay, things are proceeding well. I got the collar on, and if you've never worked with a vintage pattern, be warned that they don't have a whole lot of instructions, so I think they assume some things you know, even if you don't. So yeah, the collar was a little bit confusing only because in the picture, in the illustration, it shows kind of, it looks like a notched collar, but I'm fairly certain that this part right here at the center front is just the shirt, like the center front folded over, and then the collar is actually up there. So that is what I did. That's how I put it together, and I think it looks all right. I think it looks fine. So my next step is to, I'm not even in frame here. My next step is to hem and put the sleeve on, and then I'm going to do the buttonholes at my mom's house. I'm going over there tomorrow, and her Bernina does amazing buttonholes, so she tells me. So she's going to show me how to use her machine to do buttonholes, so that's pretty exciting. And yeah, I'm doing a short sleeve, not a long sleeve, so all I have to do is set that, you know, sew the sides together, set it in, and just do a narrow hem on the bottom edge. And yay! I got my sleeve pinned in and gathered the tops to fit while watching my favorite set in the 40s comedy, Remember When, which is streaming on AMC Plus now, so yay! Next, I turned up the hem on the bottom edge and I sewed the hem on the machine. I played thread chicken and won, barely, but I had just enough to finish hemming the sleeves. Of course, still have buttons to do, but the sleeves are on. Everything is good. The only thing is that I realized this, of course, partway through when it was too late, that I should have lengthened it as well. I don't know why I didn't, but I didn't. So it is short. However, the pants are high-waisted, so I think since it's going to be tucked in, it will be fine. It's just short. It is what it is. But overall, not bad. It is a little roomy, but again, the original pattern is roomy. So I think that's fine. It's not tight anywhere, and the gathers and everything I think came out well. So I think we're good until I decide to make another blouse like this, and then the pattern is good except for I need to remember to lengthen it. So I'm going to write that on the pattern so the next time I use it, I will know. I really enjoyed this project. The blouse was so much easier to grade up than the pants were. I like how this blouse turned out, and I have worn it several times since making it. I think I will make it again at some point in a flowier fabric, maybe challis, for a different feel and drape. Comment down below and let me know your opinions on grading up vintage patterns. Are you for, against, ambivalent, and why? Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and if you'd like to support the channel further, I do have a Ko-fi account and that is linked down below. If you'd like to be notified whenever I upload, you can hit that little bell icon. And please check out the playlist. I'm going to link that as well. The playlist for this challenge. Check the description box below for links to the lovely creators who came up with this challenge, and also check out on Instagram #WWII Sewing Challenge to see what other people have made. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you on our next sewing adventure. Bye!